Play the meme.
Do a barrel roll.
There has been much anticipation for this game since it was first announced. Of course, there was a lot of hesitation at first, given the new character designs, which I personally actually quite liked. I've made a whole video regarding defending these character designs, despite their divisiveness, if you want to know more about that. Now, in regards to this game, there's not really much I'm going to repeat that I haven't already said regarding my review for StarFox 64. One of the biggest compliments about this game is the fact that, yeah, this really isn't going to surprise you, but gameplay-wise, it really is that classic StarFox 64 game beat for beat. All the routes, all the banter, all the hidden endings and whatnot, it's all there. And if you adored StarFox 64 back then you'll know this game like the back of your hand. Hey, that's new. Now, of course, being a modern remake, there are some modern facets to cater to the gaming of today. As of recording this in 2026, at least people are going to watch this in the future and say, 2026, oh man, people thought it was the future back then. Ha! Look at the future now, sonny boy. But that's then. Let's focus on this game for the time being. Many of you will probably be approaching this game with some skepticism, or perhaps you're really optimistic about this game. Perhaps you're expecting me to say this game is worse than StarFox 64, or perhaps some of you are expecting me to say, dare I say it, StarFox 64 is lesser than this game. Gasp! Well, I mean, that's possible. Alright, might as well get the tensions out of the way. I honestly think this remake is on par with StarFox 64. Yes, congratulations. We've all done it, we're good, we're good. So call it good. But of course, you want me to elaborate on what I think on this specific game.
Of course!
Well, I'll tell you. For starters, in some aspects, this remake is a step forward from that original classic game, but in other aspects, it's a few steps back in regards to its overall quality. What do I mean by this? Well, for the majority of the part, it really is just the same beloved StarFox 64 game, but just with new graphics applied to it. And my days, the graphics look absolutely gorgeous. You'll see the vibrant details and a whole new breath of life to the beloved characters, locations, and scenarios that people absolutely adored from the original StarFox 64 game, all brilliantly brought to life with the smooth, amazing cinematic 4K HD graphics, which runs very smoothly with many frames per second. It's really impressive how it's all displayed. There may be some slightly less frames per second, but especially during the gameplay, the frames per second worked really well. What parts of this remake do I think were better than in StarFox 64? And which parts were less effective than StarFox 64? I'd say the addition of the extensive cutscenes throughout this game were an excellent idea in hindsight. It adds to the immersion of the game. We get to see the prologue on what happened to Fox McCloud's dad. We get to see the crew banter back and forth with each other in response to how the player performed in specific missions, and different, unique scenarios will play out depending on which routes players had taken, what missions players were able to complete during certain missions. It can lead to positive and negative outcomes, and seeing the cutscenes play out adds to that weight of responsibility on part of the player. It amplifies the stakes. It gives a sense of meaningful consequence. Now, StarFox 64 had the in-between mission story segments as well, but they were relegated to very brief mission prompts before you started the mission. In this game, the cutscenes give a sense of consequence to your actions, getting feedback on how you performed before strategizing on what routes to take depending on the consequences of your actions. And sadly, whilst there weren't as much story development in these cutscenes as I had hoped, I'd still say they were worth implementing into the campaign. And hey, you have the option to skip them if you're already familiarized with them. But if you're willing to stick around with the cutscenes, it allows you to have these characters banter back and forth with each other, which is part of the appeal of the game in the first place. And we get more of a sense of world building with the strategizing and a sense of stakes and, as I said before, consequences. And something else I really appreciate about this remake is the sense of transitions from cutscenes to games. I think the greatest sense of transition I could think of was how they implemented the training mode. In StarFox 64, the training mode was an optional thing you could do, which, you know, fair enough, some people might want to just get straight to the game. In this game, however, not only does the game go out of its way to get you familiarized with how to play, but I really like how in the StarFox remake, they've made the training actually part of the story itself, in the fact that it happens 5 years later after the tragedy of what happened in the prologue. We get these characters' personal quirks established in particularly memorable ways that are very fitting for said characters. And then, at the end of the training, we get the sequence where their training is abruptly halted as they're getting a call from General Pepper. And we then get to see a cutscene on how they were using the training via virtual reality.
Hey, who pulled the plug? Things were just getting good.
Sure, you almost managed to keep up with me.
Ha! Our self-proclaimed leader thinks he's real funny.
Guess we'll have to wait for the rematch.
I really like that segment, and it adds a sense of narrative pacing for newcomers of the game. Now, I could go on and on, but first I need to also address the aspects where this remake falls short. As talented as these voice actors are, the overall delivery of some of the lines are rather subdued and comparatively phoned in compared to the original StarFox 64. Now, of course, this critique could be somewhat invalid if the voice acting was improved in another language dub of this game, keep in mind. And the English voice cast for these characters are very talented. Really, they are. The fact that you have several voice cast members voicing several characters fairly convincingly for their given roles with what they were provided, it's really great. I love it when voice actors and actresses have a multifaceted variety of roles in one particular film or TV series or video games. I love it when they're able to do that. But yeah, some of the delivery with some of these lines, fairly disappointing when compared to the original game. Probably could have done with another take or two. Also, there can be some strange game immersion inconsistencies. What do I mean by that? From what I understand, during the mission where Slippy goes missing into that one planet, depending on how you play the game, a certain scenario will play out where Slippy is engaging with the tactics of the crew, even though he's meant to be missing and out of action in this game, which is quite weird. Another critique I would have for this game is that as brilliantly engaging as the 4 versus 4 battle mode is, and it really is, there's only a few maps to play on, and I really hope Nintendo gets prioritized with some new maps to update in the multiplayer mode, because as soon as I was done playing the campaign for the first time, I got straight into the battle mode, and it really is fun. There's a real sense of immersion and scope and danger to it all that's quite akin to playing the Halo multiplayer games and even the Star Wars Battlefront games. I honestly think it's an inspired idea to have this 4 versus 4 battle mode where characters can play as not just the StarFox team, but also on the opposite team, the Star Wolf team. And it grants players the chance to play as the other characters. And the games that they have on offer on the online mode are really immersive and really fun. I really hope Nintendo can add in new maps, otherwise this can really feel like the kind of tacked on multiplayer that people criticized back during the era of the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. With that said, there are a variety of ways to play this battle mode that don't necessarily have to feature being online, so take that as you will. There's also a new co-op play with this, and I imagine that's going to add to some variety of fun there. Also, there's the option to play this game via the mouse controls. Now, if you're going to play with the mouse controls, they can be a little bit tricky to get into, but once you get used to it, it can be really immersive. I can feel somewhat close to flying an actual spaceship in this context, if you get what I mean. The gameplay is smooth and fantastic. It's really immersive, the visuals are amazing, and the music is also amazing. Now, of course, people absolutely adore the soundtrack of StarFox 64. So the soundtrack for the StarFox remake it's like as if John Williams or Hans Zimmer or somebody just took the pilot seat and just decided to do their own rendition of almost the entire StarFox 64 soundtrack, beat for beat. The orchestral renditions of these classic tunes it's just honey to the ears. It's absolutely amazing to listen to. And just like that original StarFox 64 game, the game has some brilliant replay value. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this game has a wide variety of difficulty options compared to StarFox 64. Unless there's something I overlooked about StarFox 64, the remake offers a variety of difficulty options, not just in easy mode, but also, if you manage to get all the medals in the normal mode, you unlock the expert mode, which unlocks a whole variety of new challenges to go through. During my playthrough of the remake, having already played StarFox 64 beforehand, I was able to get to the true ending. And my days, I do not recall the Star Wolf team being that difficult to beat.
Don't get too cocky, StarFox.
Probably because I did take the harder route, perhaps, so I got it coming. Keep in mind, I was having a hard time with Star Wolf on the normal mode, so players, prepare for a fair challenge. Speaking of the true ending, here's a fun fact. I wasn't able to figure out how to get through that waterfall in Corneria when I was playing StarFox 64. I didn't know how it worked. So when the time came for me to purchase the game, the man at the counter said, "Oh, I remember playing this game when I was little." And I remember, he told me, that the way you get to the alternative route in Corneria is that you have to fly through all the Stonehenge loops in the ocean as a challenge from Falco. And then Falco takes you through that waterfall route for an alternative bad guy to blow up. So, thank you very much, person at the counter. Thank you for helping me get the true ending of StarFox. Overall, I would rate this game the same as I rated with StarFox 64, a 10.5 out of 12. In some aspects, this is a step forward from the original game, but in other ways, it's a few steps back. But other than that, it really is beat for beat, for the most part, the beloved StarFox 64, just placed with some modern cinematic flair. But what do you think of this version of StarFox? Have you played it? If so, let me know down in the comments down below, and if there's anything that I missed, feel free to point it out. And hey, if I'm online and playing this game, maybe we could go a few rounds in the 4 versus 4 battle mode. See you there. In the meantime, ScotsThinker signing out. Do a barrel roll!